If you're able to watch a 30-minute sitcom without pulling out your phone, you're the best we've got. But it's in this lifetime that we have access to communicate with anyone, anywhere, anytime, with absolutely no barriers to connectivity. This has profound implications. I see this happen in every field. It's no wonder that we have a 70% disengagement rate. It's not because the work is particularly worthless, it's because we are so overwhelmed that we don't have the space that we need in order to process why what we do matters. You're not wired to look at an Excel spreadsheet all day long. You're not, amen, thank you. Can I get an amen? You are designed for survival. How many of you, if you are honest with me, would say that you've been on your phone in the last 6 minutes? Please raise your hand. Wow. Who is currently on your phone? That's okay, I am not offended. Truly, there's no place safe anymore. We're distracted not just here, but when we go home. You know that more than 60% of people today are more likely to be connected to digital media than they will be in conversation with their significant other when they go home. We're distracted on the road. Nobody drives anymore. We just get in the car and pull out our phones and hope. We even pay money to be entertained and still find ourselves on the devices we'd already purchased. Like, I'm on opening night of Star Wars last December, and I kid you not, one row in front of me, there was someone that spent the entire movie commenting on Instagram posts. It's like, can you believe that? Like, will you not say that for more appropriate time? Like when you're at work? Of course, it happens at work too, where the average person works only 3 minutes at a time before being distracted, takes on average 23 minutes to get back to that original task. There's a lot of things I could talk about related to how technology has changed, but let's make it really simple. This is what you have to understand. Technology has changed the access game. And in changing the access game, it has changed everything. Here's what I mean. I'll translate it for you. If we take the last 50,000 years of human existence, divide that by the average lifespan, what we would arrive at is about 800 lifetimes. 800 lifetimes. For the first 650 lifetimes, you're talking about people that predominantly lived in a cave. It's only in the last 70 that we had written communication of any kind. We can communicate to people of different generations. Only in the last 6 that we had the printed word, that we could mass communicate. The last 2, we could drive and talk to someone further than the distance we could walk in a day. But it's in this lifetime that we have access to communicate with anyone, anywhere, anytime, with absolutely no barriers to connectivity. This has profound implications. So when people ask me what's changed, I quote Mitch Joel when he says that a man came down from the mountain and delivered to us tablets. Happened twice in history. But access changes that game. We go to the mountains and we work. We go to the beach on vacation and we work. We go to our kids' soccer game. They won't remember anyways. We work. Of course, we go to meetings at work and we don't work. Access has changed the game. It's the core issue, and it's the building block of how we think about strategies to shift the rules that are taking place. But access is only a problem because of the way that we are wired. The question that we have to ask and answer today is exactly what has changed. What is it about our relationship with technology that is driving differences in our behaviors in basically every facet of our lives? What is it costing us, and what do we do about it?
But moving forward, the organizations that will be the best at navigating setbacks, at freshly innovating new ideas, at outpacing the competition, will be marked primarily by those who have the most accountable, disciplined, and healthy relationship with their communication technology, both in the way they interact with those outside of the organization and, in particular, how they interact with each other.
Mentally exhaustive tasks take more energy than even lifting weights. Do you know your brain, 2% of your weight, 25% of your energy in a day? Most of it's in the frontal cortex. This is your capacity to overcome distraction is a function of how strong and how much glucose is in your frontal cortex. Every decision you make in a given day reduces your odds of making the right decision next. This is why in the morning, you might not realize it, you're not nearly as likely to send that snarky email. You get to 8 p.m. that night, like, I'll tell them what I think, you know? And unfortunately for us, the results are all kinds of losses in the categories of our work. What do I mean by loss? I mean that we think we're running faster, but we're actually slowing down. 40% drop in efficiency when we start trying to merge and flip between tasks. And not only is it slower, but we don't do as good of a job. 15-point drop in IQ in the quality of the work when we try to add too many tasks into our day. And of course, if those were the only things, that wouldn't be a big deal, but it hinders every part. It hinders our relationships. It hinders the way that we connect with one another. And perhaps most importantly, it hinders our ability to even know what is important. 2/3 of people get to the end of their day and can't tell you why they did what they did. They can't even tell you what they did. Serious question. When was the last time you stepped back and asked yourself, what am I doing? Why is it important? And who am I helping? I see this happen in every field. It's no wonder that we have a 70% disengagement rate. It's not because the work is particularly worthless. It's because we are so overwhelmed that we don't have the space that we need in order to process why what we do matters. I used to say with the attention spans of goldfish, but we've seen a 50% drop in the last 10 years. Now we are officially losing to goldfish. We used to think that TV caused ADD. Do you remember this? When I was a kid, couldn't watch TV because it was making me ADD. Yeah. Now, 75% of Canadians and 90% of Canadians under the age of 35, when watching TV, actively use a second device. Yeah. Can you believe that? In other words, I'll translate this for you. If you're able to watch a 30-minute sitcom without pulling out your phone, you're the best we've got.
There's actually 4 factors that shape our ability to do that. We call them the 4 E's of attention. And that's our energy, our emotions, our experiences, and our environment. And so let's dive into what that looks like. And we'll start with our environment. I was in Costa Rica, and I was going scuba diving. Does anybody here like to scuba dive? Okay, if you haven't done it, it is a blast. We jump in the water. There's an instructor that guides us and tells us where to go. So I was right next to the instructor, and swimming around, having a great time, and all of a sudden, it gets extremely dark. So I'm thinking, what is going on here? And I'm like, okay, well, let's see what's blotting out my precious sun. And I look above me, and I see that less than 3 feet away from me is a fish the size of a school bus. Yeah. So I took a bathroom break. And I start reviewing my options here. I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Oh, wait a minute, I've seen this movie. I have red hair. I die first. So I grab the instructor and I flip him between me. Figure, I paid him money. He should die. It turns out it was actually a whale shark, the largest fish in the ocean. Once-in-a-lifetime experience. I'm sharing this with you because it didn't take work for my brain to shift to something new. I saw something come into my surroundings, and I adjusted to look and evaluate. You're not wired to look at an Excel spreadsheet all day long. You're not. Amen. Thank you. Can I get an amen? You are designed for survival. And the core baseline form of the attention system that takes the least resources in our brain is in search of constant new and novel stimulus. You're made to want to flip to the new thing. And if we wanted to add another layer, you're made to want to send and receive social information.
You might be contributing to the problem if you think responsiveness is a synonym for responsibility. How often have we switched our values there? That we think that our number one job is to be immediately available. Or I'll put it a different way. You might be part of the problem if you think that it's a good thing that you are always available for your clients. Now, I know this industry more than any probably would fight me on, well, no, this is my commodity. Look, I'm not telling you that at 10 a.m. on the first day of your conference you shouldn't be available. What I am saying is 2 a.m. 6 months beforehand, in the big scheme of things, probably makes you not as good as you could be if you actually had a night's sleep. Responsibility is more important than responsiveness, and availability is not always the right thing for you.
Great news! Your customer has never been easier to reach than they are at this moment in time. But unfortunately, everyone else can reach them too. So you're gonna connect to your customer, you're gonna go on social media, right? Send out a tweet, and you'll be one of 500 million tweets that go out today. Or you're gonna get their phone number because you've heard that you can connect with them, you're gonna shoot them a text. And if they're in their 20s, they're gonna be getting 4,000 text messages this month. Or you're gonna get really excited because they do interact with you. They go on your Facebook page, they like a post. And 2.2 million posts are liked every single minute. So what does it even mean to actually connect and keep the attention of your customers, knowing just how dramatically the world has changed? My question for you is simple. What makes you predictable? Do the opposite. And the first piece is that you have to find a place where you're unreachable. Like, whoa, unreachable? What does that even mean? Well, the University of Virginia did a study that found 25% of women and 2/3 of men would rather shock themselves than be alone for 15 minutes. So unreachable isn't something we are naturally going to enjoy. But if you think about when we're wired more for a cave than we are for this constant connectivity, we have to find ourselves, if we want to actually get real work done, back in a cave environment, a place that we're truly unreachable. Everyone knows Murphy's Law, right? If it can go wrong, it will go wrong. Today's Murphy's Law, digital Murphy's Law, I should say, is if they can reach you, they will reach you. There are people that are with your company. You probably hired them. And their only job is to figure out how to make sure that you never get anything done.
So the point is, how and what we organize is different than it used to be. 2 areas that I want to focus in on. And the first area is, how do we organize our tasks? You know, of course, who has a to-do list? Awesome. Basic 101. To-do lists are great, because if you don't have a to-do list, you know what becomes your to-do list? Your inbox, which is a to-do list managed and dictated by other people. This is a very bad to-do list. So to-do lists are great, but they're not enough. The first thing you're gonna do when you get into that cave is you're gonna differentiate the levels of importance for the things on your to-do list. The most common frustration that comes to me from people in the audience is, this is great information, now you have to tell my boss. Often it is the leadership of an organization that is driving the frantic pace. We live in an age where technology has the possibility to eliminate from us all the things that are not distinctly human, to allow us to focus on that which is. But if we're not careful, it can erode our capacity in everything that makes us who we are, and we can lose more than we gain. But we can and we must do better.